Hey, it's Casi and Tara, and it's Tuesday, April 2nd, 2024, and we are back with another crypto market update. Okay, so here we are on the Bitcoin chart. This is the 4-hour time frame, and we're on the Coinbase exchange. And so the first thing that I want to show you guys is how yesterday after our update, the market started dropping right from that level that we mentioned, and it has come down and dropped right to our level that we put on yesterday at that 1618. So now we really needed this drop here to be extended, and so that's why I added the 2618 onto that, because if this were wave 3 and it ended right here, then this would not have been a far enough drop for us to make it down to our full target here at 58.7K. And so somewhere during this wave here, we're going to get an extension. And so another thing that I want to show you is the RSI. When we made this drop here, you can see that first drop made a new low right here, and then it came up and tested that as resistance, and then it dropped again. And so now we made another new low on the RSI. So what this is telling us is that this trend coming down here is still not going to reverse, or we haven't found a bottom just yet. And so this is confirming that this is wave 3 of wave C coming down here. And so I believe that we're going to continue with this bearish trend, at least down to these short-term supports down here at around 63.2K after consolidating a little bit here. So I'm expecting this to actually come down and extend a little bit more down to these levels here. And so these subwaves are currently looking something like this for our wave C coming down, with wave 1 down here, 2 coming up here or here. It doesn't really matter. They're the same price about. Wave 3 is right here so far, wave 4, and then wave 5. And so this wave 3, like I said, we're still in wave 3. So we're going to be tracking this probably the rest of today, maybe even tomorrow. And then we're going to get our fibs for wave 4, and then we'll measure out the last fib for that wave 5 after wave 4 has been completed. So this is so far what the waves are looking like for our wave C coming down to 58.7K.
Okay, so this is my Bitcoin chart. We are on the 4-hour. Basically, like as Tara mentioned, we had nice confirmation that we are going to continue in the wave C, and then we did. So we had that nice breakdown for the wave 3 of the C, and we're probably going to get an extension here in this third wave. One thing I do want to point out too is we have a nice trend line on the RSI that still has room to support. So I'm going to scoot over here a little bit. You can see that we had a nice trend line we were using as resistance and then support coming down. And look how much room we have here. It's going to get really bearish quickly, it looks like, and head down into bearish territory on the RSI as well. So this is just even more confirmation that it's going to continue down to our C target levels. So that's really all I wanted to add on Bitcoin. As far as a trade goes, you could be tracking a long trade on Bitcoin as it's coming down. So I'm just going to put in what that trade would look like. So I'm grabbing my fib retracement there, and I'm just taking the high and I'm coming down. I want to put it down at the target just to show you guys where I think this trade will probably be, and then show you how to track it. So I think that this long on Bitcoin could be 2.4%, which is pretty typical for a Bitcoin trade, but it's also very conservative. So all I would do is keep my fib set as it makes its new low, and then I would watch the RSI for confirmation of a bullish divergence. And once we get that, then you could be cleared to enter along from this 118 to 236. So for Bitcoin trading, I would just continue with this fib, pull it down as it makes the new low, which we'll probably end up seeing our bullish divergence here at the target. And once we do, it'll be clear to enter, and that's about 2.4% trade on Bitcoin. So
we're gonna get ready for a long for when Bitcoin comes down to our final target. So that's probably going to be our next scalping opportunity.
We do have one more point we can make too, Tar. And I think that in the scenario where we were going to make a new high on Bitcoin, we didn't want to break below this A level. It's another confirmation that we're going to continue in our C wave and that our other scenario is out. So I just wanted to point that out, that it's really our thinking process in this. So that helps us to eliminate that scenario there.
Yeah, it invalidates that new high for that subwave. Yeah.
Okay, so should we go ahead and flip to Ethereum?
Yep, let's do it.
So just simple ABC here is what we're tracking. Again, it looks like we have confirmation that we are on that last C wave, and it is still looking really bearish at this point. So you can see the RSI is making a new low and the price is still continuing to come down. I'm not tracking any subwaves on this. I'm just looking for that final target down at 2,600. But as far as trading goes for Ethereum, it would be kind of similar to Bitcoin, where you could track from this B high, and as it makes a new low, track a long scalp on that wave. So similar thing, you would just take your retracement and track it as it makes a new low, and you would trade the fibs on its retracement or correction.
And wait for a bullish divergence before entering. Let's get over to my Ethereum chart. Okay, so here we are on my Ethereum chart, and this is that 1618 that we put on there yesterday. Look how perfectly it targeted that fib at 3,200. So this is confirming to be our wave 3 of wave C. You can see the RSI made a new low coming down here. This is just confirmation that this is still going to continue down. And so just like Bitcoin, this is sub wave 3 of C coming down, which looks something like this. And so again, we're still in wave 3, so we're going to be adjusting this level accordingly, and then we'll get our retracements for wave 4 and then the extension for the 5th wave. Keeping in mind these full 5 waves should be landing us somewhere around 2,600, so we do need an extension during these subwaves, and typically that is during wave 3. And so we're going to be expecting this to come down and extend a little bit lower here during this wave right now. So probably for the rest of today, if not tomorrow, we'll still be tracking the sub wave 3 of wave C down.
We have XRP 4 hour pulled up here. You can see we have more development, more signs of resistance at the top of that triangle. And we have nicely come down to a 618 retrace, but I do not think it's complete here. I think we're going to come down to the larger local retrace, which is actually the larger 618 retrace. So I do still think we're headed down to these support levels. One thing on the RSI is that we had this long-term trend line I was tracking, and it actually broke that support. So I do think that we are going to be headed down like we thought to these support levels at least, keeping an eye on these lower fake out targets that we still have down here.
I'm almost thinking it's just going to come down to the next level down there at 54 cents. It's the main support level, so.
Yep. Let's see what happens. And then also as time goes on, that really becomes strong support. So depending on how long it takes us to get there, that really could be our really strong support. And it is the apex of the triangle. So
yeah, I was just going to say that. We could hit that and then just continue sideways until we get some more volume in here.